Leslie Goldstein is this year's winner of the Fort Lewis College Alice Admire Outstanding Teaching Award. How many of you had Leslie as a teacher? Look at that. This award is given to a professor who shows a remarkable devotion to the art and science of teaching. Leslie Goldstein, senior lecturer in the freshman math program, has teaching in her blood. When she was a child, she would come home from school each day and teach her little brother everything she'd learned. And it didn't matter if he didn't want to learn. Leslie was going to teach him. Though she refers to herself as a 5'2" but extremely intimidating person, she today takes a gentler approach to teaching than she did with her kid brother. But it's one that is infinitely more effective. Of Leslie, one of her students wrote, "Two distinct avenues separate her from other professors. First and foremost, she genuinely loves teaching. It is apparent each and every day when she steps into a classroom that she loves her job, wants her students to achieve the goals they set for themselves, and supports them tirelessly on their own journeys. The second stems from the respect that she gives her students." These thoughts, echoed by many of her students and colleagues, are why Leslie was awarded the 2016-17 Alice Admire Outstanding Teaching Award. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, to offer our commencement address today, I give you Leslie Goldstein.
Thank you, President Thomas. One of the best parts of my job is I get to graduate every few months. There's something magical about graduation. From the student's perspective, this is the culmination of all your work, the ending chapter of your undergraduate career. You know that this part of your life is over. You played your last game, handed in your last paper, hung out with your best friends one last time at your favorite restaurant, bar, or hiking trail. All the positive memories you have are peaking right now, and you feel a sense of happiness, pride, and a hint of sorrow. For the parents, it's a dream you have had since the first sleepless night with your precious little one, when you realize that one day they may graduate from college and all this hard work might just be worth it. And this is an extremely proud moment for your grandparents, who have waited to congratulate you because this time they were able to enjoy parenthood, knowing they didn't have to endure sleepless nights and homework struggles. I am perpetually reminded of how special this is when I see the tears and hear the laughter. So to be giving this graduation address is both terrifying and exhilarating. I've listened to graduation speeches for 13 years, twice a year, plus my own graduation address. Therefore, it feels daunting for me to capture what to say to you as you turn that last page of your undergraduate chapter. What will be that one last pearl of wisdom from the last professor you might hear for a very long time? So, I did what any reasonable person faced with a monumental task would do. I turned to my psychologist. Luckily, I'm married to one. Brian's suggestion was to read other graduation speeches to get ideas, but ultimately to make it my own, unique. So, equipped with brilliant minds by one swipe of the finger, I combed through all the awesome quotes I could find on the internet. Being from Canada, I was obviously drawn to Canadian quotes, and now I want to play a little game with you. Some of the most inspirational sayings come from the current Prime Minister. Who knows who that is? Yes, Justin Trudeau. But there is another famous Canadian who also has quite a following. Another famous Canadian, Justin. Can anyone tell me who that is? Justin Bieber. So, the game we are going to play is which Justin penned it, Bieber or Trudeau? Are you ready? Number one, there are going to be times in your life when people say you cannot do something. And there are going to be times in your life when people say you can't live your dreams. This is what I tell them. Never say never. Bieber! You know, there's a lot of people that look up to me, and I'm not always going to be perfect. I make bad decisions sometimes. Bieber, yes, you got it. At one point, people are going to have to realize that maybe I know what I'm doing. Trudeau. My idea of freedom is that we should protect the rights of people to believe what their conscience dictates, but fight equally hard to protect people from the beliefs of others imposed upon them. Trudeau. I pick my nose. I'm not ashamed to admit it. If there's a boogie, then just pick it, man. I tricked you there. None of the above. Justin Timberlake. Last one. Congratulations, Skyhawks, and good luck on your future endeavors. Trudeau. I would show you the email to prove this, but I used my personal email that operated through a private server instead of an email safeguarded by the State Department servers. Now, perhaps I should give you some background as to why I chose quotes from the two Justins, because this wasn't just a random event. And this is going to do nothing to temper the prevailing myths that all Canadians know each other, because really, I don't know your Uncle Luke from Winnipeg. But Justin Bieber's lead guitarist is a gentleman by the name of Daniel Cantor, who was a camper of mine at summer camp. Daniel's father, Jeff, was my high school English and drama teacher, and he is one of the reasons I knew I wanted to be a teacher when I grew up. My connection to Justin Trudeau takes us back to 1993 at McGill University, where the Bare Naked Ladies were making their musical debut, and I was taking a summer class on Shakespeare. I sat with my friend Jordy and these two other boys, whose names were Sasha and Justin. I soon found out that these two brothers had the last name of Trudeau. Some of you may know this, but the Trudeaus are like the Canadian version of the Kennedys. They are royalty. And having a Trudeau in my class was equivalent to Elaine Bennis on Seinfeld saying, John's in my aerobics class. In any case, Justin was unaware of what his future would hold, and when he asked me what I was studying at college, I explained I was going to become a teacher. Now, you might say it was a coincidence, but shortly after that Shakespeare course, Justin became a teacher in British Columbia. These two stories relate to you, today's graduates, in a very meaningful way. The first lesson of several that I want you to ponder today is to appreciate all the people who you come into contact with. That the people you interact with will affect you, and you will affect them in the simplest or most profound ways. That crazy student in the back of your history class could become the next Nobel Prize winner. The long-legged, long-haired, bearded man in your math class would help you realize that anthropology is the path you've always wanted to study, which in turn will lead you to become the coroner of Aztec. And that super annoying kid in the front who doesn't stop asking questions in your biology class will become the nurse who will one day help your partner give birth. You, in turn, will affect the countless lives of people who will affect the lives of countless more. Your influence is like a shadow, stretching to places you may never be. Maybe Justin Trudeau is an amazing prime minister because that crazy, adorable, petite future teacher in his Shakespeare class helped him realize his full potential. In truth, we don't tell people enough how much they mean to us or how influential they are in our lives. So graduates, tell the people in your lives how much they mean to you regularly, starting today. The second lesson I want you to reflect upon is doing what you love and doing it with your whole heart. Every day you get to do what you love is even more special. Every day I step into the classroom, I giggle like a little kid entering a candy shop. And as long as nobody forgot their calculator on exam day. I still can't figure out how I actually convinced someone to pay me for teaching. Let's keep that as a secret between you and I. I have been teaching for 20 years, and to me, there is nothing more rewarding than watching somebody's face light up when they finally understand a concept that they previously could not grasp. There is nothing more satisfying than inspiring someone to follow their path to greatness, to providing a helping hand in watching someone achieve their dreams. And what's more, all these people in the front rows in their mysterious black cloaks feel the way I do. Watching you as you walk across the stage as your final strut into the real world makes us super proud. Oftentimes our passions hit us at the strangest places in the oddest of ways. For me, it was at the Rideau Center in Ottawa when my mother Mira taught me consumer math. I learned how to calculate the final price of clothing items despite the complicated Canadian retail tax system. Then, in 10th grade, I had Mrs. Clark for math. On that first day of class, I realized I wanted to be just like her, a strong woman peddling numbers. And 3 years later, when I was sitting down with my high school guidance counselor, Mr. Vetter, who tried to encourage me to teach theater, but not math, because I was so good at drama, I realized the numerous obstacles that would stand in my way. But I've always been a bit of a pisher, and that has served me well. My winning the 2016 Alice Admire Outstanding Teaching Award for my work in the freshman math program at Fort Lewis is proof that I did follow in Mrs. Clark's footsteps, and that Mr. Vetter was a misogynistic dinosaur. But whether your passion hits due to a mother-daughter shopping spree, an inspiring classroom, or a misguided guidance counselor, recognize it, embrace it, and knock down any obstacles that may stand in your way. I leave you with 2 pieces of advice from my family members. As my father told me before I went to college, "Well, Leslie Goldstein, now you know whatever comes next is going to be monumental, because whenever you get full named, you have to pay attention. You learn how to be the best teacher you can be." When I asked my 9-year-old son, Bailey, what I should tell you today about how to be happy, he responded, "Make friends and be nice." So there you have it, graduates, the keys to a successful life. Be grateful for the people who come into your lives. Find your passion and make it your career so you can go to work every day excited about what you're going to do next. Exert maximal efforts. Be nice. With these keys, you will open doors to worlds you never knew existed. Congratulations to you graduates and to you, their support systems.